Hello everybody and welcome to Elves. The goal of the deck is to accumulate enough power by casting cheap elves to overwhelm your opponent. We can quickly do that by our 8 ramping 1-drops into our 3 cost elves that besides Rolewalker allows us to curve our mana up to multiple elves a turn and casting and activating pump activations and simply hardcasting Craterhoof Behemoth. The Dungeons and Dragons set has introduced Circle of Dreams Druid, which works as a 5th and 6th Elvish Archdruid. Be aware that this card uh, oh, be aware that this new card may underperform compared to Elvish Archdruid due to the lack of +1/+1 to all other creatures. We also got what I would call a better Faceless Haven. We also got what I would call a better Faceless Haven in the form of Lay of the Hydra, since it also deals with problematic planeswalkers under counter spells and it can potentially win the game with no other spells that can properly resolve. That is not to say that we have bad matchup against control. We have 3 Allosaurus Shepherds, which by itself can turn half of a blue mage cards into bricks and to turn itself into a fast clock with its pump activation. We might be a bit weak against decks that run hard removal spells like Fatal Push and Wrath of God that can remove our card advantage elves like Fauna Shaman, Elvish Clancaller, and Walker. While editing my last video, I realized that the video was probably being too long, therefore I am taking a best of 1 today, so until I find a better solution. If you like the historic content, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment on what deck I should play next. Now let's play some Magic. On to round 1. We got 2 1-drops. Goes into an Elvish Archdruid, so I'll keep this hand. I have a very hard time mulliganing hands that start with Llanowar Elves. It's easier with Jaspera Sentinel because it does something else. You need another creature in order to ramp with Jaspera Sentinel, which means that you can't play Elvish. Well, you can play any 3-drops on turn 2. Which is really important. That's what you really want to do with this deck. Play as many elves as possible. But be careful of Wrath effects, Wrath of God. Okay, cast the Elspeth Nightmare in my... Oh, well, I mean, that works too. I'm not drawing any lands, but I'm also just having 20, which is quite a lot fewer compared to the last deck I played that had 28, if I remember correctly. But some of those were modal lands, dual-faced. So he gets to take a non-creature spell, which kind of sucks here. I only have 4 copies of Collected Company. That's all the non-creature spells. That is not lands. It also says non-creature, non land. So it's a duress effect. Bloodchief's Thirst. And my elf. And Feed the Swarm. See, this is what I mentioned in the deck intro. If he just kills my mana generators, I am screwed. But it goes 1-for-1 for now. So he needs more removal spells or some sort of card advantage engine, which is not Mace of Mind Tome. That's quite slow and doesn't give consistent card advantage. He exiles my graveyard, which does absolutely nothing, at least for me. If I was splashing black for some elves, that could have mattered, which I have done, which I have tried at least. That if I'm making a best of 3 deck with elves, it has to be with black, I think. It has some good elves. Could also run red for there is one red elf. I can't remember if it was good enough. Okay, so I can hold collect the company up with these two. So I'll do that. Seems suspicious that I don't attack, but that's fine. I could also have used Fauna Shaman, cast a 2-drop or 1-drop. Could also just slam the Realm Walker. Revenge of Ravens. It's an enchantment. Whenever a creature attacks you or a planeswalker attacks you controls, or planeswalker you control, that creature's controller loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay, so I need to attack with a lot of power for this to be worth attacking with. I will cast Collect the Company, and I got 2. Okay, so I think I will get the 2 3-drops, which allows me to play creatures and Craterhoof Behemoth. Play Realm Walker and Fauna Shaman. Elf. I do not get an elf on top of my deck. So just cast Craterhoof Behemoth for lethal. I think that is. By 3. So on to the next round. 2 Jaspera Sentinel and an Elvish Archdruid. I can play 1, turn 1, cast Fauna Shaman into the second one. I like that. That sounds interesting. It's only been a recent addition to the deck to run Jaspera Sentinel, so I'm not fully familiar with the sequencing of when to cast it, or like when to ramp with it and when to not, and what creature to ramp with, which you need to tap. Okay, so it's a blue, no, not blue, white green fast deck, but I'll play faster. So next turn I can go Elvish Archdruid into Fauna Shaman. Okay, good thing I have another one. You can attack. This game is gonna be over way before. So I can attack. I can also not attack. I'll attack. Yeah. There is the. He can double block it, but that means I get a 2/2 back. Okay, so he takes my Elvish, I presume. He can also take the Fauna Shaman and sets me further away from a Craterhoof Behemoth. Can't do anything about that. So I will cast Elvish. Yeah, I'll cast Elvish Visionary into 1-drop. Is that better? That is about the same. I can actually cast it all. If I also tap green and tap, that would be Elvish Archdruid. I need to tap, since I don't want that to die in combat. I'll keep this back to keep all the blockers back. I can let 1 through because I don't want to lose Fauna Shaman, and this would be a 4 toughness. Unless he puts it on the Elvish Elite Spellbinder, which he does. I think that's okay. I win next turn unless I don't draw a minion. So I think I'll take that trade. He doesn't want to see I win. Okay. I don't think that's a too bad of a winning position, but he's not. He doesn't want to play. I want to find out how it plays. How it ends, I mean. But let's go to round 3. on to round 3. So this deck does, as we can see by the two last rounds, this deck does go really fast and it can just stumble. It can just trample over opponents. Not about the keyword, but literally trample over people. It does have trample with Craterhoof Behemoth. Okay, so I can cast this without being tapped. I would need to read this again. Until end of turn, layer of the Hydra becomes an XX green Hydra creature. It's still a land. X and X can be 0. So I need to pay 1 and X for it to be X. Gotcha. Will not do that now. I can keep that up. I think I'll attack. Whatever. 2 damage is more than 1. And I'm not trading that, by the way. Cast Elvish Warmaster. And I cast... I think it's better to keep this on the back and on the blockers. So I'll cast Elvish Archdruid. Next turn I can sort of pop off with Realm Walker. Or perhaps just leave layer of Hydra Beast, of the Hydra Beast back. See, I've seen people running this, and I don't quite agree. He draws a card, more specifically, he looks at the top 4 and then picks one. And next turn, well, if he has enough creatures, I believe it is, it turns into um, uh, into an Elvish Archdruid effect, which, I mean, why not just run Elvish Archdruid number 4 or one Circle of Dreams Druid? Perhaps Dreams Druid is more susceptible to creature removal, but still, I think it's better. I think it's way better. Okay, so can I cast that? I can. What does that do to my opponent here? That does quite a lot. No, it does not, because I need to tap Jaspera Sentinel. Alright, so I'll cast a Realm Walker, targeting Elves. And I break. Cool. So I can cast Elvish. Activating Elvish. That's the most mana efficient play. So I think I'll do that. Everything is tapped, but that's fine. Next turn I get Elvish Archdruid. But I think next turn I can cast Craterhoof Behemoth with no problem. Especially if I get more lower cost creatures from Realm Walker. Cast Allosaurus Shepherd. Number 2. Can't activate it, it doesn't have mana. Right, so I'll just play Elvish Archdruid. And perhaps that should be enough. Now I can cast. Still not enough. I mean, it's enough. It's enough to attack with 3 creatures. That gets plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus 6, and trample. So that should be enough, at least to destroy his board, but not just to win the game. All right, 7, because Craterhoof Behemoth is also a creature. That is how it's read. Where X is the number of creatures you control, not elves. That would be weird if it was elves. He's looking at some blocks, but I think it's all over. If not this turn, then definitely next turn. I'll block. The order shouldn't matter. Not in this case. It all goes through no matter if he pumps or not. If he pumps, If you would both pump Allosaurus Shepherd and Elvish Warmaster, it should still go through both. At least to hit. 1 to round 4. This thing is fun. uh, Llanowar Elves, hand, I'd keep. Nothing more to say. That's how it is. I get to keep 2 Elvish Clancaller, which isn't perfect since I maybe want to fetch one of them with its own ability. And I only have 2, which sometimes this problem comes up, but it's not as likely. I will not block that. So that seems to be, I can't remember the name. Basically you sack, you sack a token and then you get a huge bill off. Can't remember the name. It's a focus spell. Transmogrify. Yeah, should be transmogrify. So I will cast Faceless. I want to get that under me, so I can attack with the next turn. And I'll play in. Ah, well, in that case, it was a bit of a mistake. I'll play another one. Attack for 7. No blocks. Perhaps it's not Transmogrify, just some Boros mid-range that wants to buff these creatures with some +1s. Okay, escapes Citrus Cunning. That's not a card I've seen a lot. Am I able to cast that? I am not. So this gets +2/+2 since it's all creature types, including elves. And I should be able to attack for lethal. Unless my opponent blocks. Blocks with 4. Okay. That's a weird block. Yeah, he didn't think that through. He blocked. Yeah. If he wanted to stay alive, he should block with the 2 others, but I think he was dead nonetheless. And here we see another angle of the deck. You can't just beat your opponent down with lords that create +1/+1 counters for all your creatures. Instead of ramping mana until you get like 10 mana and hardcast a crazy boy. Starts with a hand that includes a turn 1 play and a turn 2 play. Though that I wouldn't say is enough. I'm not getting to collect the company anytime soon, and Craterhoof Behemoth is miles away. So I think I'll mulligan this, even though it has a clear game plan. This works out somewhat. It's a bit on the high end with these 3-drops, but I think I'll keep it and put a Mawir, Ma Mawirin, the Nurturer, back. So I'll cast Jaspera Sentinel on my turn. I'm not cheating, I swear. Hopefully I could get another land or another 1-drop, 2-drop. So he's also playing elves. Get a 2-drop that draws a card. So maybe I can get another land for Elvish Archdruid. No matter what, I can use Jaspera Sentinel with Elvish Visionary to cast Archdruid. And plays Werewolf Pack Leader, which is a new card. I've seen that card and I've opened it. I think it's pretty awesome, but I can't remember it to be honest. Uh, whenever Werewolf Pack Leader attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, draw a card. Okay, so if you attack with an activity of Allosaurus Shepherd, perhaps. So for 3 and a green until the end of turn, Werewolf Pack Leader has base power and toughness 5/3 and gain tremble and isn't a human. And it isn't a human, so it's only a werewolf. Gotcha. Okay, that's an interesting card. As I've assessed by myself earlier, when the card got released, then I opened it. I think I only got one. I'm tinkering with a human deck, which is blue. You scared me, Vivian. Can you stop? I was having a monologue. You can go down to that. Yeah, that was sorry for that. Um, I'm tinkering with an Esper build of humans, blue, black, white, which is not very good right now, to be honest. There is not a lot of good creatures in historic, human creatures, enough to support it at least. And green that doesn't. You can splash this card in an Esper deck. Though there are some other red and green creatures that are human creatures that are awesome. Let's hope he cannot kill my Elvish Archdruid again. I will not block. So it seems okay. So yeah. Before I started rambling, I should have realized that this is not elves. He's just being green stompy something deck.exe or whatever. Um. So what's the best card combination here? I think it starts with an Fauna Shaman and a Llanowar Elves. Or perhaps it should have started with a circle. Tap you for green. Tap. No, I'll not tap this one. I'll tap this one, and then I can kill Vivian. Now we can keep collected company up. Attack Vivian down. She doesn't die. Okay. So I will, if he blocks this, I will collect the company in response. Hopefully getting another lord that gives +1/+1. Just a love struck beast. Okay. That sucks, but I have enough creatures to activate collect the company anyways. I should have seen that coming a miles away, by the way. Holding 5 mana up and leaving the Vivian up to die. Pellet Collector. So let me see his attacks. He attacks with all, draws a card, holds collect the company up. This deck shouldn't run anything that tricks my combat here. Ah, okay. Do I have another Fauna Shaman? I do. Would I like another one? Eh, it's stronger in combat, so I think I will. So I need to attack with enough that I don't die. He could have a lot of pump spells. So I think I'll do that trade. Oh, that block, and that block. I think I'll also do this block, to be honest, to be frank. No, yes I will. Because this doesn't change the toughness. Yeah, he probably has a pump spell to make the one of the creatures bigger. But now I've distributed it also. He needs to have multiple unless the else they die. I mean, it looks like a collecting company. He's shown me one, so no, he has it, and he has 4 mana up. No instance. Okay, I'm fine with that exchange. Um, and now Lovestruck Beast can attack because there's no 1/1. Scavenging Ooze. Maybe that's why he wanted to attack like that, so he can pump up the Ooze. That's fine. Okay. Yep, you got it. I'll cast Realm Walker. No, would I like um it costs 8 mana and I've got a if I tap this then I have 2 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um that's not enough. But if I tap right, so if I tap you I go down to have 2 mana left and I have 5 here. Um But then I can also use this so I can attack with 3 creatures. I think that's a fine deal. I'll drop that for now. I can also get Allosaurus Shepherd. Is that better? Um, I can also leave it back on attacks. Um, I think that's better. I think this is alright for now. Let me leave it like this. Perhaps I can Fauna Shepherd uh, on his instep for it. But now I'll just protect my minions. Make these 5/5 plus Elvish Archdruid gives them +1/+1. Base power 5/5. You got it. Scavenge all the ooze. Okay. Oh, use that ability. Hmm. Wait, that was not enough. Oh my. That's just okay. That's embarrassing. Okay. Yeah. Um. I didn't pay enough attention. I think. Okay. Takes that out of the graveyard. Pumps it bigger. So I will. Would I get rid of that? Yes, I would get rid of that for Elvish Archdruid. I cannot hold enough mana up for that. So I can jump block the Scavenging Ooze and double trade Fauna Shaman. I'll keep everything back. Ranger class, that's a new card. I've seen that before. Did it level up? He did level that up. So whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Not an every, just on one target. Because else, thank God. That'd be bad. Okay. Right, so we can kill both of that. So I'll take that trade. And I think that means I need to take this trade instead of killing this Steel Leaf Champion. Yeah, yeah. So next turn I can hold Allosaurus Shepherd activation up, or I can go. So I have 3 mana here, plus that is not enough, I believe. Well, that's the same situation again, isn't it? That would be bad because I would have enough mana for Craterhoof Behemoth, but I would tap everything. I would tap Elvish Archdruid, Fauna Shaman, and Jaspera Sentinel. So I think I'll just cast Elvish Visionary for now. See what happens. Gotcha. You may look at the top cards of your library anytime. You may cast creature cards from the top of your library. Which is scary, but you know, mana cost and stuff. Keeps exiling. Okay. Do I have enough if attack with everything? No, I don't think so. Because that would be 15 damage, so I'll just keep it on the blocks for now. The more time that goes, the bigger scavenging ooze grows, and the more time I have to draw a way out. I have a couple of way outs from here. Okay, upgrades it to level 3, which means he can cast creatures from the top of his library. He attacks. You got it. I will. Maybe I should assess blockers first, with everything being 5/5. Two blockers. Right, so you and you. He can get how many? He can get 3 triggers off of that, which means that I also need to do this, and then this can go here. Oh, oh, that cannot go there. Oh no. That can go there and trade that. That can go there. Yes. Don't think I made a mistake here. Unless he can grow it really big. I don't really want Elvish Archdruid to die, but I don't really want Allosaurus Shepherd to die either. Let's see what happens. He puts the Allosaurus Shepherd first, which is expected. Right. The math checks out these traits. Unless he has an instant spell from the top of his library. Activate Scavenging Ooze. Makes sense. Twice. Thrice, everybody. So I keep everything alive, and I top deck collect the company, one of the best ones in my deck. So I'll take the 2 most impactful ones. Can I draw anything from this? I cannot. But this means that I can activate that. Would I want that? I can also keep that on the blocks. You know what? I can attack with you, and if you choose to block with Lovestruck Beast, I can make it poisonous. That's a good deal. Radio. That's value. Drawing a card with a 1/1 and then trading it with a 5/5, which was a 6/6, but and this is also 2/2. Rightio. Realm Walker, another out here, and I mean out. I mean gas. I need gas because if I don't have gas, they can just trample through my minions. So now I can Allosaurus Shepherd activation. Leave a mana floating, which I can't use. Attack with 3 creatures for 18 damage. And have some creatures on the backswing. for his backswing. 18 goes through. Next turn I can kill him. This is tense, boys. This is tense. Am I gonna lose? Am I not? Draw Spell Collector from the top of his library. Put 1/1 counter on it. On Werewolf. Okay. So I need to block. I'll block. I'll keep that and then block like this. If he has something that trambles over, I will take the defeat unless I am able to win with 4. So that's 4, 5, 4, 9, 13. Okay, I can win with that. So I will take this trade in case he. Right. Oh, that didn't help. Oh no, what? Oh, wait. Oh, that gains trample. Ah, no. I forgot that no card worked like that. Oh well. I'm glad this one loss was because I didn't know as a new card. I'm content with that loss. That was really close, so I don't mind. Allosaurus Shepherd. See. I like this hand because it doesn't just go 1/2. I mean, by just some elf. It's it's a specific elf. I want Allosaurus Shepherd if this guy turns would run blue, and I would in all cases have Elvish Warmaster in my hand, because that can just win games by chip damage and help up buff Marwyn the Nurturer. Place that card, Layer of the Hydra. Gotta get used to the names. Okay, so draw an even better card. Takes time during his priority, so he has something in his hand. Place an elf. The good elf. Which I also have in mind. So I can also make an elf token during my turn. Place Elvish Archdruid. I hope I'm not dead. He can create 3 more mana, if not anymore. If not more. Okay, so I can put Allosaurus Shepherd on the battlefield too. Tapping the 1/1 elf. No, I'll not second that. Perhaps I should have. I should have. I want his elf. I want his Elvish Archdruid to have less impact in this round, because if it doesn't have any impact, I just win because I have Craterhoof Behemoth in my hand. If I'm even allowed to cast that. Casts a lot of spells from the Realm Walker and from hand. Casts a lot of spells. I cannot cast it now, though I am able to. This is free because it creates 2 creatures for Marwyn. So I'll cast that first. Perhaps that gives me more options. It didn't give me any options. So I will attack with everyone except Marwyn. Go to blockers. Does he want to block? Because if he doesn't block, I'll make them 5/5s. And if he does block, well, then he can do less. on his turn. It would be great for him to just use 2/2s. Yeah, he does that. I will use Marwyn to pump Allosaurus Shepherd, leaving him at 5 life. Hope he doesn't. He cannot kill me. Though I think he can. Cast Elvish Visionary. Creates 12 mana to be able to cast spells. I hope he draws a lot of forests. And he casts Craterhoof Behemoth, which means I'm dead. So I'll see. Goodbye. Good game. And this also just shows the faster the uh, the the mana creating through 3-drop, the faster the opponent dies. If you can keep your mana up to how many cards you can draw each turn, you can cast a lot of spells. Okay, onto round. What's that? 6? 5? I think it's 6. I'll give this hand. Has good 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Not 3. It has a couple different 2-3 plays, which involves tapping Jaspera to cast Elves. Right, so I'll cast Elvish Warmaster and Jaspera Sentinel. Next turn I can tap it all to enter my hand, and the turn after that perhaps activate Allosaurus Shepherd's ability. Cast Banishing Light, taking Elvish Warmaster. Could also cast that, though I'm not sold on that. I could also cast one guy and then cast Collected Company. I like that. And then attack for 1. Gotcha. Rest in peace. That's interesting. Don't have anything in my graveyard. You can resolve that. I'll cast Collected Company on the end step. Getting Elvish Archdruid and a Realm Walker. Perfect. Now I can really go off. Cast Allosaurus from library. Cast more spells. Hey, the new boy. I've barely seen you the whole event. Where have you been? Cast more, cast more, cast more. I will tap a creature that can attack. And I will attack now for a considerable amount. My board is so wide I can barely read the cards, which is exactly where you want to be with this deck. He's a 9 life deck. Well, good thing where I'm playing best of 3, because that would be a nightmare. Jesus Christ. I think I'd have to go faster than that. I don't know if there are any good enchantment hate for in Elves colors. Okay, keeping a hand with Llanowar Elves. Let's go. Cast Warmaster. Ooh, was that wrong? Maybe not. Perhaps I should have resolved Marwyn first. I think that was a mistake. I kind of went in autopilot there. I think I should have resolved this first. Though now this grows 2/2. Elvish Warmaster. So there's some thought to it and there's some consideration, but both have their ups and downs. Ooh, Ashok is scary. It's been a long time since I've played with audio. They added, might have been a bug, but they had a really irritating noise when you clicked. So I simply turned the noise off. Pure noise. Right. So I'm able to tap Marwin and trigger Allosaurus Shepherd, and I believe that's lethal. It is. On to the next round. Last round of the day, of the event. I have lost 2 matches so far, so this will definitely be the last one. Keep an hand with Elvish Archdruid into Realm Walker. Perhaps hopefully I get a lord that can tap for mana. And I can just chop dagger, that's perfect. First, well, second, I kind of just stumbled, trampled, and ran over the last opponent. Is he playing Spirit, or I believe that's Spirit that is also running green. Gotcha. So we're casting Realm Walker to start with. Perhaps that's a bad idea, but it plays around Spell Pierce and 3 mana. Effect that is remotely the same. Okay. I mean that's fine. I can I can play it again. Elves. Okay, gotcha. He did not like that idea. Okay, right. So I got under him before he was able to cast any of his counter spells. I had mana open before in the middle of him casting Brazen Borrower. I think there was also a bit of missequencing. He should have let me uh, pass the turn until he could, yeah, until he could cast Brazen Borrower. So my opponent fucked up, but I was going to ran over him anyways, perhaps, hopefully. So we got 7 wins today, though with 2 losses, one of them being me uh, misreading a card or perhaps misremembering a new card, which I don't really mind, and the second one I can't really remember, to be honest. No, but uh, uh, yeah. Oh yeah, right. I remember now. Yeah, it was the other elf deck, right? So um, perhaps this deck is very good and uh, perhaps so good that the only way to get beaten as an elves player is being beaten by another elves player. So yeah, let's get the reward. 10,000, 10,000, I wish. 1,000 coins, 20 gems, because I already have that mythic apparently. New perspective, which is in Kaladesh card. I've not seen that before. 5 and a blue enchantment. When new perspective enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards. As long as you have 7 or more cards in hand, you may pay 7 rather than pay cycling costs. Ooh, cycling cost as in general. Okay, I mean that could work in some sort of. Though most cycling decks are cheaper and is playing blue, white, red. If we're going back to the deck, I can see in previous iterations of elves, it just ends. It still just ends certain opponents on turn 4, which Circle of Dreams Druid should help with, even though we unfortunately didn't see its full effect this event. Speaking of unseen cards, I barely saw and certainly didn't use Layer of Hydra for other than its mana ability, which is sad because in paper it should be way better than Faceless Haven, since you're not limited to using its ability for only 3 mana, and those mana has to be from Snowlands. Layer of the Hydra allows you to drop Faceless Haven entirely and splash black using Overgrown Tomb. Now I need to find it. Overgrown Tomb, a Dark Ball Pathway, and Woodland Cemetery. to cast some elves from other colors. Like Harold, King of Scamfar, like Abomination of Llanowar, and like I saw another card, Elfang Ritualist, which should help our weakest matchup, which is decks that run hard removal, like Fatal Push and Wrath of God. Perhaps I should try to do this on the next video. Perhaps maybe I should wait another couple of videos so we can match it up a bit. I have some other ideas, but yeah, maybe I can make that video where I splash green. Maybe I can make a video where I splash where maybe I can make a video where I splash black and perhaps make a sideboard for it so I can play a best of three when I find out what mm, perhaps in a couple of videos I can splash perhaps in a couple of videos I can splash black in this deck and make a sideboard for it so I can play best of three when I find out what suits this series the best. I need to find out because the videos shouldn't be an hour and a half. I feel like perhaps 45 minutes to half an hour would suit this better. If you like this deck and want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. That means that I'll certainly make more content like this in the future. And until then, I'll see you next time.